consistently hitting your goals, $40,000 months, and how you as an agent can go out and consistently match exactly what you're trying to do to hit 40, 50, and $60,000. And we'll be breaking that down today. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3.5 years, we've helped 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this channel, I talk about the strategies, tactics, and behaviors of those individuals, how you can go out and implement them as well. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's hop into it. So first things first, I'm going to talk about the word consistency. Definition. I know my spelling's not the best. Okay. Conformity in the application of doing something, typically that which is necessary for sake of logic, accuracy, and fairness. Okay. This is what we're referring to. Okay. Now, what I want to go into today and why this is so important if you are an agent listening to me is every day is not going to be great. Okay. Literally. Let me write this down. Every day is not going to be great. Okay. You're not going to sell every day. You're not going to recruit every day. You will experience failure, right? You will experience letdown, disappointment. People will backstab you. All right. We are not here to talk about everything being perfect. What I'm here to talk about is the ability for you to be consistent, for you to, regardless of how you feel, this is the next set of actions, all right, or behaviors that you need to do in order to be successful. This is success. This is how you figure out to get yourself to where you're trying to be. Let me go big screen. All right, let me explain something. No matter what you are doing as an agent, I don't care what the situation is, that is how success is created. It is truly through consistency. Now, I define consistency as that. I define consistency as what I just listed right here. Let's go over it one more time. This is my definition. Regardless of how you feel, this is the next set of actions or behaviors that you need to do in order to be successful, reach your goal, have a healthy marriage, happy life. Doesn't matter whether you're in your faith. It does not matter, right? That is what consistency is. Right? If you want to hit $40,000 months, if you want to consistently write $50,000, bro, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to put the work in. You have to be consistent. Every week you buy leads, it's not going to be great. It's not. There's no way that that's going to happen. And because you think that that's how it's supposed to happen, you are not allowing yourself to get over the hump that comes with getting to success. There are a lot of times in anyone's business where things are not going to be the way that you want them to be. The question is, do you still do those actions in spite of things, i.e. feelings, not being exactly how you want them to be? You are tired. Do you still get up? Your alarm ring, like, yo, I'm using myself as an example, but you can ask anybody. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get up early to be successful, because there are people that don't get up early and are successful. So I'm not going to go on that tangent. But what I will say is you have to do things that you do not want to do to be successful. I think that's the prerequisite. And I think that getting up early signifies for a lot of people something difficult, because people want, like, sleeping. Sleeping feels good. Nobody can disagree with that. It feels good to feel rested. But there are things that you need to do regardless. I've started to realize, even now, on the days that I do sleep in, I don't really feel any better. Like, really, I know that I'm getting more sleep. My body is definitely rested a little bit more, but like, I don't feel better, right? Like, I'm just like, okay, I slept for an extra 4 hours. It's like, okay, or I slept for an extra 3 hours or 2 hours, or whatever. And I do really enjoy sleep. But at the same time, when I get up, it's like I'm up. Like, it's time to go. Right now, as an athlete, it was a little bit different because I have my body, right? But now it's like, as long as I'm getting 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, like, I'm good. I can operate, right? Some people would say that that's healthy, not healthy. I'm not here to argue that. But what I am here to say, regardless, is you have to do things that you do not want to do. I don't care what profession, where you're at. The unfortunate thing is, in the life insurance space, that requires us to not only do the actions, but put up the money. Now, in a lot of other places, you just do the actions. There's no money associated with it, okay? So that means there's another step in this process, okay? And that's why I said the mindset, okay? So the mindset to be successful equals understanding how investing in something works. Cool. Let's go to these handy definitions, because investing definition. All right. Expend money with the expectation of achieving a profit or material result by putting it into financial plans, shares, or property, or by using it to develop a commercial venture. All right. Provide or endow someone or something with a particular attribute, right? That is investing. That is what investing is. You're expending money in the expectation of achieving a profit or material result by putting it into financial plans, shares, or property. Financial plans. Your financial plan. I'm just going to copy and paste this bad boy over here. Okay. Your financial plan. All right. Your financial plan is an agent. Okay. What is your financial plan? That's what it says right here. Okay. What is your financial plan? All right. That's leads turn into profit. The question is how, right? You have to have work ethic. You have to have skills. You have to have a process, what some people call a system that is either going to be manual. Let's go here. Manual or auto. It's going to be CRM, dialers, leverage, right? Cool. That's really all you got to do. That's your financial plan. Day one, this is all you have to do. I tell people all the time. I'm like, yo, when you're selling life insurance, you have the easiest role ever. Shirt's kind of falling down here. You have the easiest role ever. It doesn't really matter. It's like, dude, you got to work hard, you got to develop some skills, and you got to create a process. Point blank. Yo, if all you're doing is selling policies, you got to dial at 8, stop at 12. Take a break. Dial again from 2, stop at 6. Take a break. Dial again from 6 to 8, and you're done. 12-hour day with breaks. And honestly, depending on how you structure it, the middle of the day, you probably don't even really need to be dialing if you're actually properly doing it in the morning and the late afternoon into the evening, because that's when most people are going to pick up anyways. So you have your little breaks during the middle of the day. That's not a bad gig. If you don't have a team, if you have nothing else to do, you should be able to make 40K. The problem is most people don't do that. They get stuck here. Let alone, like, dude, forget the skills. All right. This isn't the order it goes in. Process number 1, work ethic. You don't have any work ethic. How are you gonna hit 40K? You have zero work ethic. You don't even know how to follow a system that somebody's going to give you, a process. The great thing is the best teams in the company, in companies that you can go to, have a system. Find the person who's making the most money, ask them how much they're depositing, ask them exactly what they did, and just do it. I don't see why that's any harder. It's just mentorship. The biggest frame I thought about, I'm like contemplating, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go into like starting an agency, and just because like I can't really mentor people in what I'm doing. And I like developing, I like leading. Like that's kind of what I'm starting to enjoy. And I'm like, excuse me, I I'm unable to really develop people in this space. It's like I don't want to develop a bunch of mini lead gen people. One, because I mean, you can do it, but it's just not fun because it's like a lot of like step on throats, this person, that person. But when you're doing life insurance, it's like it's infinitely scalable. There's infinite number of leads. Everybody's a lead. There's so many different ways you can run your business. So it's like teaching people how to do that is fun. That's why I like these YouTubes, because I just kind of post them, and if I get likes, cool. If I get shares, cool. I'm not really super attached to it, to be honest with you, but I do want to build somewhat of a following. This is what I enjoy doing. I like watching YouTube. I watch YouTube every single day. So I just create content. If I was an agent, what would I want to listen to? Blank, blank, period. But I'm also honest, and it's like my platform. So if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. I thought about the way that I viewed starting an agency. Then you don't get overrides. It kind of makes no sense, and you got to keep building. And I'm like, okay, what business in the world do you ever stop? Like, what billionaire is like not working? I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, so if I grow and then I can like hire staff to help me build, or like I can still do it because there's nothing else that I would do anyways. Plus, it's just mentorship. So in other businesses, right, you have people that pay for mentorship, right? You have Jeremy Miner, Alistair Mosley, like you have all these people that will pay for you to learn, but they're basically mentoring you. Like, let's just call it what it's coaching. They want to like mask it as something. It's like, dude, it's all just coaching. That's it. You're just helping people, teaching people what you know. That's a coach, right? Or coaching them to their goals or desires, which I guess we could look up real quick. Let's look that up just for sake of me not going off to it. Coaching definition. My bad. Coach. Maybe. What is a coach? Here we go. Noun. My bad. I don't know why this was a noun. Coach. A person who instructs, trains, and manages a sports team. They call it a sports team. Well, we could call it a sports team. I'm just going to call it a team. All right, that's my way of saying it. You're just coaching. That's it. Coaching, teaching, mentoring. I guess they're mentorship definition. Guidance provided by a mentor, especially an experienced person in a company or educational institution. Simple. This person is guiding, directing you on what to do to help you grow your business, and they get compensated for it. The difference, though, is that every business is kind of like an MLM in a way, right? Or whatever you want to call it, multi-level marketing, network marketing. I don't really know the difference. Let's look up the difference again. I'm just on this spree, right? Multi. There it is. There it is. Cool. Multi-level marketing, right? What do people call it, a pyramid? It is kind of a pyramid in a way. Difference is though, everybody gets. The way I look at life insurance is like this: when you bring in somebody onto your team, some people call them a downline, some people don't like that word, whatever. When you bring somebody into your team, now you have to go get more people. So you have to keep grabbing legs and keep building. Now the question is, are you trying to build something to eventually sell it? Are you trying to build something for cash flow? Are you just trying to stop building? Like, what is the reason you want to build? Because theoretically, it's like if you enjoy working, you kind of don't really have to trip. And the more I think about it, I used to be like, damn, that's forever. But I thought about even my business now, and I'm like, I don't really want to sell it. I mean, like, I enjoy what I do. Now, I want to have more freedom. Well, it's like, okay, pretty simple. All I got to do is now when I become a leader and I have a big team and I'm not making crazy overrides, the people I get direct to me, those are essentially my mentees. So they're paying me to come in and to learn. It's just like a mentorship. Yo, how much would I pay for mentor? People charge 100, 200, 300, 400, $5,000 for mentorship, $1 million for mentorship. Cool. Put in, and then you make the override. And then the difference is when you learn what you need to learn, which makes sense because once you make enough, because you learn the skills and you put the work ethic in, you acquired what you needed to. And I don't make any, and I need to go to the next person. It's another mentee. It's like if I'm the only difference is that's how you make your money, right? So it's like you would just be doing that forever if you want to do that, and then you could start other business on the side. But I still have to say, like, going back to the work ethic piece, you have to be, excuse me, you have to be willing to understand that the first step in your leads turning into your profit is your work ethic. The second step is your skills. Okay. That's what you learn and how you take what you learn and implement it to close more deals. And that's simple. Right. And then the last one is the process. So most of the times, people don't even get past the first step. They complain and then they're like skills age leads because I you need to show me that you have the work ethic to get through. Then let me see the skills. Then let me follow the process. Point blank period. Once I can follow and create a process for myself, I'm now good, right? And that to me, this is the entire like financial plan. This is what investing is. But you cannot have a successful mindset until you understand how this works. You will be turning yourself in circles because you will be very frustrated that you're like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna make this money? How am I gonna spend money on leads? And you're just looking at it wrong. I used an example. I'm gonna use it again because numbers are everything, right? Numbers are everything. All right, I'm just going to use it again. All right, so the person does even free leads. Okay, the person takes free leads and they turn around and make 5K. All right, perfect. They're going to read the book Profit First. But I'm going to give you a quick example. Here's all you really need to know. Every time you get paid, you're going to take 65% into what they call, okay? That's going to be like leads, admin fees, payroll, etc. All right, next thing you're going to take is 20%. That's going to be your profit. You're really supposed to take 20% off the top, so I apologize. That's just going to be your profit. Cool. And this is really like kind of your honestly, it's not your net profit, but it's like the put away profit. I don't really know how to define it. And I didn't even finish reading the whole book because the concept made sense to me. 15% is for taxes. Simple. Super simple. The problem is most people mix these two and they never put this away. Right? So when you do this in this example, let's just use this. So 5K, 5,000 times 0.65. 3,200. When you're starting, you ain't got no admin. You ain't got no staff. So you need to take this $3,200 and put it right back into the business. Profit. Here's where people mess up. They take the 5K, they're like, yo, I made 5K, bro. I'm up. This is what $1,000. Oh my goodness. And then you have your taxes, right? I.e. chargebacks. Can honestly make this higher if you want to. Okay, 750. All right. Now let's just say, right? Because they're not going to tax you for whatever you get from this. Let's say you take this 3250 and you break it down even further. And you say, I'm going to take this 3250 and I'm going to break that down. Fall off. Worst case scenario. So you're on 975. You have 975. 975. That's going to be for chargebacks. Oh my goodness. And then you're going to take what? Times 0.7 out. Yeah, 2275. 2275. That's for leads. If you actually segmented your business like this and you just did this over and over and over again for every 5K you made, you would literally, if you put away $20,000 in issue pay business, you would just take this number and multiply times 4. So 2275, 2275 times 4, you'd have $9,000 a month for leads. That's what you would do. If you did this process, you'd have $9,000 a month for leads. Like if you're not spending much, you can get a nice little spot for 2 bands, cover some stuff for, and like this is like not paying yourself well. This is like $1,000 off your profit. You're cool, right? And you put $4,000 back into your pocket. You have $9,000 available for leads. So I don't even think you need to spend that. Let's just say you're spending $1,500 a week, which is $6,000. So you take $6,000 and put that towards leads. So all in all, that's what it would look like. If you did 20K in IP, this is just 20K. This is not even 40. If you do 40, what are we talking about? If you do 40K, now you're just going to do this times 8, right? So let's just do 40K. So let me actually show you. Okay, so this is her $5,000 IP sold. All right, so $40,000 IP in a month. Let's just do the numbers, okay? So operating expense on 40,000 is what? So 40,000 times 6.5. 40,000 times 0.65. All right, so $26,000. 26,000. Okay. And then let's break that down real quick. So 26,000 times 0.30. So we're gonna put away 12K. How many people are putting away $12,000 for chargebacks? Nobody. Nobody's doing that. That's the problem. $12,000 for chargebacks. I'll just show you how to structure your 8,000. Oh my bad. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Times 0.70 equals, yeah, 26,000. Sorry. 26,000 times 0.30. There we go. My bad. We're going to go, there we go. 7,800. I apologize. Still, nobody's putting away, basically. We're just going to call it 7.8K. Okay, for chargebacks. You're going to put the rest times 0.70. You're going to do 18,020. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's just say you are writing this by yourself. This is like true operating expense. We can get even granular. All right. We haven't even included leads and stuff. I'm gonna make this his own page because I just want you guys to see how ridiculous it is that it's just about how you manage your money. Now, 40,000 times 0.20. My math's not the best, but let's just do that. 40,000 times 0.20. 8 bands. So $8,000, that's just going to be profit. That's what you should be paying yourself. Okay? So if you told yourself when you started, I'm about to make $8,000 with no bonus. This is how you do it. This is really how you do it. This is like I'm giving y'all the full play. So now we're going to take 40,000 times 0.15, and we're going to say 6 bands for taxes. Really, in the life insurance space, you're going to have taxes, but you got so much stuff you could write off. It's kind of like, okay. Now, Let's just say you do that, okay? And there's no way that you could tell me, even with a team, that your staff should cost you $18,000. Now, let's just say for you to write 40K, in the best case scenario, let's say you're not that great. You're spending $8,000 a month on leads. Let's just say $8,000. Okay. So let's take from here. We're going to minus. Okay. So that's going to leave us with $10,200. Now I've already paid for leads. I've paid for leads. I've literally already paid for my leads. This is on a $2,000. Oh, and by the way, just so you guys understand this way, this is 2K a week in leads. That is more than enough in leads for you to get busy, bro. $2,000, bro. That's like $220 per day or something like that in ad spend. Or even with any company, dude, you're gonna be cooking. You should definitely be able to issue pay 40 bands. Definitely, definitely, like 40 into your account. Okay, and we can make these numbers worse because you do. Even if we only did 30K and we took everything off, all the things that you have, and you'd be good. But let's just go with this. So that leaves you with $10,200. Now you mean now let's just say you have no admin, no team, nothing. You're just doing that. Even if you have an admin, you pay them what, 3 bands? You're still at seven. You reinvest that back into your people. You pay yourself, right? Let's say that you end the month and you do this for 3 months because you're like, I'm just gonna stack for 3 months. All right, so let's see what 3 months looks like. So 3 months. Let's just call it 22,000 for chargebacks. Okay. We're gonna call it 18,200. These are the numbers that nobody ever does, by the way. This is why people won't get out of the industry. 54,600. 54,600. Okay, this is total OPEX. All right. I already did that, my bad. So yeah, true OPEX, my bad. This is true OPEX. And then let's just say you have 8,000, so this is 24,000 on leads, meaning you take 5, 4, 2, so you do 10,000 times 3, so 30,600. 30,600. That's an additional OPEX after leads. Okay. And then now you pay yourself. Okay. And then now you've got 18,000 in taxes. This is what 3 months in the industry making $40,000 a month will look like if you do it properly. You put $22,000 away for chargeback. So this isn't even like, dude, this is extra money that you could use, but you don't even have to. Just put it away. That way you don't even, if you get chargebacks, you're like, dude, I'm good. Money over, I'm straight. Like you're not even pressed about it. Like you're not even if you start getting chargebacks and you start writing business, you're good. You already have your nutshell because you're doing the same process regardless. Every time money comes in, you're segmenting it. You're putting it away. I'm actually doing this, so that's the reason I can speak to it, and I know how well it works. Okay, you then have 24,000 you've already spent on leads. Okay, you got additional 30K that you've never touched. Before you came in, this you weren't making $8,000 a month. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's like, okay, cool. You spend your 8,000, you're just maxing out. Okay. Now, let's say you want to take this and you start up a business and you just start paying yourself owner's draw. You say, all right, every 3 months, I'm going to pay myself a $15,000 bonus, a $20,000 bonus, which essentially to your top line, let's just say you're going to pay yourself a 30. Nah, 30 is kind of egregious. Let's go with $15,000. So that's an extra 5 bands a month. $15,000 a month. 13,000 into your bank. So the question is, if I put $13,000 into your bank as an individual producer, now you're not including overrides, you're not including any other money. You're just including what you get in that. Dude, you will start stacking cash like none other. But this is what I'm saying. You don't even understand how to get the first part down. Like this is the system. Bro, you just gotta work and get your skills right and have the system prepared on what you're gonna do with your money. But if you do not understand this, you will struggle. You will have a very difficult time making money in this industry, keeping money and not getting out of the business. I got out of the business because I did none of this. I just got my money. I just spent money on leads, just paid my credit card, and kept my life moving. I did nothing else. I didn't break down no payments. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't track KPIs. I didn't do anything. right? If I was structuring a business, this is what I would be doing with all of my agents to set them up for success. So that way they could actually win. Because if you're not setting yourself up like this, you can't set your agents up like this, you can't actually make it make sense. Lead Lab CRM, if you're an agency owner, go to agentleadlab.com. We'd love to work with you and apply and see if you qualify. Appreciate y'all. Talk soon.